Welcome to section 2.6, dividing real numbers. These examples and practice problems have come from the Algebra 1 textbook. Let's get started. This video is going to be relatively short because I'm going over the assumption that you already know how to divide real numbers. If you have not yet learned it or you're struggling, you can go ahead and check out videos made by Khan Academy. Those are ones that I really like because he tends to explain them in a very beginning level kind of way. Anyway, example 1 is asking negative 16 divided by 4. Now you can rewrite this as negative 16 times 1/4, which is equal to negative 4. So your answer for number 1 would be negative 4. Negative 2 is a little more complicated in the way that you have a compound fraction. A compound fraction is where you have something like this, where you have a fraction on top in the numerator as well as a fraction in the denominator. But the easiest way for you to solve this is for you to realize that the negative 20 can be rewritten as a fraction as negative 20 over 1. And then when you multiply it when you divide a number, you're really just taking the reciprocal of that number. So when you do negative 20 divided by negative 5/3, that's the same thing as you doing negative 20 divided by 1 times the reciprocal of negative 5/3, which is 3 over negative 5. And then you'd solve this as a division problem. Negative 5 goes into negative 5 once. Negative 5 goes into negative 20 4 times. So you're left with 4 times 3, which is equal to 12. For problem 3, you can break this up into two fractions. The way that you can write that as negative 10z as negative 10z divided by negative 5 minus negative 20, or my bad, minus 20 divided by negative 5. You have to keep the negative 5 as a negative 5. You can't say that because I'm subtracting, I'm going to remove that negative 5. That's not how it works. So you always have to make sure that the negative sign, if it's present in the denominator, it has to stay in the denominator for both the fractions. So now you just simplify this and simplify that. So negative 5 goes into negative 5 once. Negative 5 goes into negative 10 twice. And then 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 20 4 times. But you have a negative in the denominator, so you cannot ignore that. So you cannot ignore this negative sign. So your answer would be 2z minus 4 divided by minus 1. That's the same thing as you doing 2z minus negative 4, which is equal to 2z plus 4. So your answer would be 2z plus 4. For number 4, you have to find the mean, which is the total sum of the y values divided by the number of y values. So I'm going to do this problem on the side down here. But I would like you to, I'm going to give you some time to go ahead and calculate the sum of all the y values you see in this table. All right, I'm guessing you've calculated the total of the y values. Now, when you do that, your answer should be giving you negative 150 on the numerator. And then you're dividing it by the number of y values. There are 5 y values present, so your denominator would be 5. So then when you go ahead and solve it, your answer would be negative 30. Hopefully that was easy enough. If you're still struggling after this video, I would recommend you go check out some other resources such as Khan Academy. And I've given you some practice problems here, and go ahead and try them.